Hello.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Good one this week.
There's a bald man in a bus.
I'm getting a lot of...
He's coming to sit beside you. What do you do? What do you do?
Joe, there's been a lot of bald things going on this week, right? Number one, it's not just I'm doing Punch Drunk this week and the social media crew involved. I've been balding me, putting me on Elliot's fists, then balding Kai.
Yes.
Been a lot of bald chat, you know.
Do you have a tiny bald person in your QR code for your tour show? Is that your doing?
No, that was Dwayne Dugan.
Good work, Dwayne.
Dwayne put a tiny one in it. It took me ages to find it. Like,
That's
I'd already put it on
superb.
the Fringe show, and I was like, fucking...
That's excellent.
Yeah. Do you know, like...
I noticed you spelt a word wrong in your post as well.
Which one?
You put up a please buy tickets.
Everyone.
But you put buy.
So many people got like 50. I was like, right, okay. There's also a space in Blackfriars in one of them.
Right.
It's not on the regular poster, but say on the big tour one, I was just like, I can't go back to this. It has to go out today.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, maybe people are like, it's Blackfriars, and I'll be like, thank you for pushing the algorithm. Do you know? There's another one I just saw there on the way here. I put it up in my fucking Instagram story. Have you seen the trailer for Flight Risk?
Is that Mark Wahlberg? No.
Yeah. So have you seen the thing? He's bald.
No. Is he?
He's got hair at the sides, but he's got a big. His whole cranium's out.
Fuck, like the old school.
Like
Carry on Bernard Bresslaw kind of.
Right. So here's the fucking thing, right? So I was sitting there going like, I've seen the trailer, and you know he is full time bald, right? Like as in, right.
Oh my God.
Right, so
Jesus
if you don't you probably won't see it, but he's got the bald missing cranium, but he's obviously so self-conscious of even pretending to be bald, because if you look at all the buses for Flight Risk,
that's what I thought.
he's got the bald part cropped out, because he doesn't, obviously he's like, on the adverts, cropped it out, I don't want to be bald.
Because I've never
on adverts.
I've never heard anything about this film. I've not seen any trailers, I've not seen anyone write about it. And then I saw yesterday on a bus Flight Risk in cinemas soon, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm assuming that's like a action film to do with he'll be like a fucking baggage handler or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he's
cropped out.
Bald.
He's cropped out. I was like, he's ashamed to pretend that he's bald.
Do you think we'll need to find out he filmed it and was bald in the filming, or is it CGI? Or prosthetics.
It looks really bad.
Right.
Like I like Mark Wahlberg in certain things and all that. Like I don't dislike him, but he's mostly, bar a couple of roles, not great of an actor, right? And I think it's so funny that he can't even pull off. He's such a bad actor. He can't even pull off being bald. Like the trailer looks really bad.
This is true.
Like he's doing the mad. Like we're today's Speed. He's trying to do the madman Dennis Hopper role.
Yeah,
and it just looks real. He's the bad guy in Flight Risk.
Oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
You don't get enough mad bastards in his films anymore.
No, I actually, I'm glad it exists. They're trying to bring it back. I think they're just like, we're oversaturating this. Just
because
carry on and.
Obviously, we'll talk about Speed more, but just to touch on it very briefly, I forgot, because it's been a while since I've seen this film, I forgot they had an actual purpose. I forgot he was disgruntled because he didn't get the pension that he was promised, and he gave because he was a bomb expert and he lost most of his hand.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a genuine mad bastard. Yeah. I mean, he is. But he does have a grievance.
Do you think, and I find this funny, do you think, like, back in 1994 when this was made, you're like, oh, that's not really a thing. But I think, like, the way, like, production of labour and everything's gone over the last 20 years, do you reckon a lot of the time now? Because I've watched loads of these films where the bad guy, and I'm like, I'm kind of siding on the bad. Fair play to him.
Oh, aye.
So basically, it's like Luigi.
Exactly.
So assassin, it's like the Italian assassin. So we're watching a lot of that now and just been like,
yeah. Aye, he's been fucked over by the system.
Funny. Yeah.
I would like to see more, because you always get just mental serial killers. Like most serial killers are just fucking psychopaths that just love to kill.
Yeah.
But you don't get terrorists who just love to blow things up. and that's what we need. Because it's scarier.
Bring
because
back
then
the Ra.
Because but then there's no. If there's no political motivation, if there's no religious motivation, if there's no financial motivation, if it's just like if you turn up and there's a guy holding a shitload of people on a plane hostage, and they go, "What does he want? Money?" Nope. What he wants some prisoners freed.
Yeah.
No. What? So is this a religious thing? Did we like attack? No. He just said he loves blowing people up. How the fuck do we deal with this mad bastard? Like,
we have to get in another mad bastard.
Exactly, yeah.
The negotiator.
Yeah.
I hope they get to do that movie sometime.
How do you deal with someone who just loves blowing other people up?
You know what I would do? And I don't know why I think this would work. I get a Chinese negotiator and... But like speaking in Chinese,
right,
and just constantly everyone's speaking a different language to him
to confuse him.
Yeah,
right.
Now he might just be like, "I hate China," and blow himself up.
I think that would antagonize someone that's sitting there already on the edge. I don't think sending someone in to speak Mandarin to him is going to calm him down any.
Man, you have to fight fire with fire in this. What are you going to? What else? Give me a better idea than sending in.
Oh,
it doesn't have to be Chinese, obviously.
I don't know how you deal. You might have, but I don't know how you do it. You know, like there's that thing where if you ever get, if it's a Darren Brown kind of thing where he says if you ever get mugged in the street, say the most bizarre sentence, and it confused because people even your most hardened mugger will do a fucking Usain Bolt premonition, like pre-thing where he'll envision. What's that thing that they do where they basically envision how the race is going to go? It's like a it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where they, what's it called? They
project.
Yeah, there's something like that. So they'll go through. I'm pretty sure a lot of sportsmen probably do it, but particularly sprinters, they'll imagine the perfect way this 10 seconds is going to go.
Yeah.
And then that helps.
Easier with sprinters because they only have 10 seconds.
Exactly. You could have done it around a golf.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of imagination. But I imagine muggers probably have that. They imagine how the mugging will go. And I imagine they go, right, I go in there, they'll shit their pants, give me their phone, give me their wallet. I'll threaten to stab them if they don't. They'll give in. I'll get off. That'll be that.
Okay.
So Darren Brown thing is, if you do that, and say they said, give me a fucking phone, give me your fucking money right now. If you then say something like, well, I recently bought a swan from a Frenchman, so I can't, they'd go, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they almost go, this guy's, I don't need this. I need someone that's terror. I don't need to deal with this. Who knows what this mad bastard's going to do?
You don't know where I keep my badgers.
Exactly. And it breaks that flow of conversation, and they go, what? It's like almost like if someone tried to mug you, you say something sexual.
Oh,
like if they went, give me your money in your wallet, you go, would you like my cock instead? They would go, what?
Do you think that without, like, so if you're about to be sexually assaulted, if you hand around like a condom, do you think that would throw them right off?
Jesus Christ! Like, I don't want to make light of sexual assault, but it would be very funny.
I'm trying, but yeah, I'm not actually trying to either. I'm trying to go. Would that throw you completely off?
Let's talk about it in the way of a male being sexually assaulted.
Yeah,
the acceptable face of sexual assault.
Yeah, you're right.
The more acceptable. What the fuck?
The acceptable face. He gives a shout if it's blokes.
If I can. If a man was trapped you in the bathroom and was like, right, I'm gonna bomb you. If you then went, oh thank God, produced a massive boombox, press play, and it just went do 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 do. Played Barry White, they'd go, oh, what? Like it's almost like. It's like you've completely re-checkmated them. Like,
it is
ultimate reversal.
Like if you're just sitting there in the library, right?
Yeah.
Fucking, you bend over to get a book. Neil Gaiman turns up, ready for you. You just turn around and be like, "Fuck me," like Rosa Parks. Do you reckon He'd be just again. We're just like, I don't need this.
Oh my god!
I can't control this.
Oh Jesus!
Rosa Parks, what are you talking about?
I'd heard a couple of things about that Neil Gaiman guy, but I don't know. I'm not into the fantasy stuff that you and the boys are. So
I've never read a Neil Gaiman book in my fucking life. Or a fantasy book.
I really, really enjoy when proper like right on preachy nerds, their heroes get. Like it's kind of like
it's happened so many times.
Kind of like J.K. Rowling with all these people that would previously have been so fucking like touchy feely, like we must listen to everyone, and then their heroes brought down, right? Him, because that's the same kind of people. They go, oh my god, it's like like just those kind of fucking right side of everything.
White Knights. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I've seen his tweets about it.
Self-performative.
I've seen his
wanks.
tweets are so like overly done, and I was like, I can't believe that he's been literally.
This is what.
I mean, I had a guy in comedy in fucking Dublin. Like he was all about this too.
It's like overly. That's what like overly feminist men.
Yeah.
You go.
Proper like wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, obviously, it's not. I don't want to go. It's better to be the other way.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate. Straight up there chatting about it on a podcast.
Just be normal.
Yeah. Just
be normal
just have
and realize
general compassion.
Yeah. Just be against shit that's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't overly compensate and go. Well, no, but I think it's more wrong than you do. So
yeah.
It happened with Radiohead as well. That fucked a lot of people because Radiohead are one of those bands that are very much of the touchy-feely performative grief fucking we must listen to each other. I have problems as well. Like all that kind of those kind of wanks that Jeselnik talks about. It's like whenever a tragedy happens, don't forget about me today.
That's true. I remember that's an old bit's great.
Radiohead were they're like those people's band, and then Tom York when it was like getting heckled by pro-Palestine people, and he fucking walked off stage because it turns out like they're massively pro-Israel.
And
they sent those kind of snidey wee weedy wee people into a head spin going, what do we do now? Oh my god, like,
not the Radioheads.
Why doesn't everyone think like I do?
Yeah. Panic stations. The Neil Gaiman stuff's mental. He like sexually assaulted some woman in front of his own child and made him watch and made the child call her a slave and stuff.
That is brutal. I've never seen or read any of. I didn't know who he was.
I did know.
No idea.
I did
not
know,
a clue.
I would have known what he was or anything. I don't actually know anything.
Yeah.
He did is that the Good Omen thing? That TV show? That's that fucking David Tennant TV show, is it? Or not David Tennant, is it?
Doctor Who.
Good Omens and American Gods and shit like that. I don't know. I don't really know.
No idea. Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Speaking of when we're talking about bald news,
you're gonna bring back a fucking bit of bald.
No, just whenever bald news comes along, because Sid, who's a regular listener, sends a lot of bald news to us, and there's a bald man selling hair growth oil has been arrested for fraud.
Okay, right. What the fuck was that? He was putting on people's heads. That's what
I have no idea. But the reason I bring it up is because Sid says because he searches news about bald things so much now, the algorithm has now sent him bald shit. So he got a thing the other day, the key to a healthy bald head, and it's some kind of cream you rub on.
A healthy bald
to keep the dome moisturised.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I came up with an idea I'm going to run by you. Two things I wanted to say. We may be getting sponsored.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because
listen, we've never really talked about sponsorship and we've never really asked or touted for it.
Yeah. We'll take sponsorship.
Obviously. We're not anti-corporate in the slightest. We will take if you want to send us free shit, send everything.
That'd be so funny.
God, we'll take any sponsorship.
Yeah. No morals whatsoever.
Listen, honest, see if you're the Israeli Defence Force and you fancy pumping money into this baby, then
why would they
anyone?
Why would they even do
We'll
that?
take the mayor of Los Angeles sponsoring us right now.
God.
But yeah, more news on that after I speak.
Yeah.
Speak to the guy that got in touch, but I appreciate you getting in touch.
I do laugh at the LA fires, though. They seem to be affecting way more people, and I forget that it is affecting real people. Do you know?
I think that's a bit off, because even like Sky News's main report, whenever I read about it every day, like the third click down is always a list of celebrities who have lost their homes.
Yeah, that's interesting, but it's getting lost now.
It's only about 15 of them.
Yeah.
Compared to the other 14,000 people that have lost their homes.
Like Chris Martin, was in that. Like we have an Arsenal group, and Chris Martin, not the fucking Coldplay one. But,
no,
right, but he's all he's like we're right on the edge of the evacuation,
Yeah.
so he's been up all week like fucking panicking, and he was saying then he was like the fucking Arsenal loss is the worst thing that's happening this week, right? But then we were doing doing a roast battle podcast tonight with the guys out in LA, and he's just like, maybe 10 o'clock a whole nightmare because everything might burn down, and I'm like, it's just so real when you hear the message of people you're in contact with.
It's mental, because I've seen a couple of people that are out there putting up. I saw Jim Jeffries put it up this week as well. That it's weird how I don't know if it's an app or just a website you go into, but you can see the evacuation zones, and then you can see the zones that are on fire, and then you've got your own place. It's like a wee blue dot, so you get to watch in real time as the fire approaches you. It's insane.
I've seen some sad videos of the back garden's on fire, so it's obviously coming in, and they're at their pool with like a little bucket going. I'm like, just leave. It's fucking over. Just save what you can. I've seen people throwing all their stuff into the pool.
Oh, what?
So like
their clothes and shit.
Well, they were trying to vacuum seal their clothes or whatever, throw it in a bag, right. Sink all the cutlery, all everything like china, the glasses. They're just chucking it in the pool because it will just sink, and they'll try and get it after.
That's insane. Like clothes, some clothes I can. Well, you drove your car into the pool.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Shrink wrap your car in one of those massive vacuum bags.
Yeah.
I saw a video this morning of a guy being reunited with his dog.
Oh, they're always good.
Yeah. Wonder how many of those videos you don't get to see. Wonder how many videos there are where they find the dog charred.
There was a mad video of this woman whose son died.
A cold briquette that used to be your dog.
Try and lift it up, and just legs fall off. Like sand. He's got a sand.
No, I've got to wash my hands.
Yeah. What about throwing the dog in the pool? I'll come back for you. Some woman was like, her son burned alive, and she was just like, it was so bad. You would never do this as a parent, I presume. She just went, we couldn't save him. I think he was like disabled or something.
Oh, yeah, so it's a British woman. Yeah.
Was it British?
Yeah.
And she said, like, he told me to go save myself. And I was just like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously there is a point where you probably have to be like, well, it's over,
I don't know.
I don't know if you do.
I mean,
could you? I don't think you could.
There's also
you're like, I'm dead here. I can't live if I just went, well, the Stairmaster's gone, so you burned to left there, 12-year-old.
If you
and then go on Sky and go, well, he's a hero. He told me, save yourself, Mum.
If you are going to leave,
your house isn't even on fire yet.
If you are going to leave, at what point do you do it? Because, see, now, regardless of how good a person you think you are, right, at some point in that situation, even before they say you need to save yourself, you are going, I can save myself here.
Yeah. Fight or flight.
But you need to give it long enough so that it looks like you were wrestling with the decision. You can't immediately see the flames coming in. Look at your incapable son and go, oh, well, listen, that's been a laugh, but
do you know what?
Let's face it.
Do you think it'd be funny to just lock their door and they're like, what are you doing? Right? And then go downstairs and like dap a bit of petrol on your arm and then light it and then just like, I try my best. I try my best, but Johnny's gone. Only the wheelchair
Look, I've
survive.
got burns. What? I've got half-degree burns.
Coming in, they know what you've done because it's clearly just dotted, right? And your house is the only thing left is just a burnt wheelchair. You're like, oh.
I don't know if this is. I'm assuming it's not conspiracy theory shit because it was on Sky News this morning.
Well, it's hard to know.
But apparently, the LAPD are investigating that it might have been started by people.
Is this
not
fucking eco-terrorist
No,
shit?
not eco-terrorists. Started by either folk illegally camping or fireworks. So like an error, like genuine human error, like some kind.
That part's so possible because
That's very plausible.
we got one or two fires down near in my house, right, in Donegal, but only because like one of the peninsulas is completely that wind bush shit, right? So what happens is somebody literally puts a fag out.
Aye.
And just because of that, it's only that one peninsula. Like I'm not, and nobody fucking died. I'm not comparing it. But what I'm saying is, they throw a thing, people are out camping, chuck a cigarette. Next thing, the entire peninsula just goes, because of the wind and the bushes just fucking travels. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We woke up one day and the entire town was under smoke. You look out, the whole peninsula was on fire, and we were like, I was like, this is class. So I definitely get in a very dry place like that.
Oh, if a firework goes off tangent, off course, hits a load of brush, dry wood, and then, like you say, the winds just carry that shit.
That's going to be the same fear, though. If you know you've started that, you've just went doo-doo-doo, you got in the
another nail in the coffin for the firework industry as well.
Imagine that's some domino effect. You had a wank in your car, and you have a fag afterwards, and you flick it out the window, and then like 24 hours later, Miley Cyrus's house is burnt down. And
you've created one of the biggest natural disasters of the past 200 years.
You just sit in your car or in your house now going, it'd be funny if it was the same guy as well. It's done it loads. Like it's the same
It wasn't even that good a wank. It wasn't worth it.
This is my conspiracy. It's the same teenager that teabagged that decapitated head on Cowgate, and he couldn't live with the like, I've had a nightmare there, and he wakes up and just flies to LA to start a new life.
Or maybe he's just determined to be involved in every major news story of 2025.
You think he wants to be involved? Your theory is he wants to be involved. My theory, it's the same old guy, the same guy, like the same guy that accidentally shot JFK.
Some unlucky lad. The whole...
Yeah. Polishing his BB gun that fired off out the window and took. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I told you about the mad fires that we. So there used to be a festival. I don't know if it still exists. Benicassim, right? Benicassim is a music festival in Spain, right?
Okay. I remember Benicassim. Yeah. I remember the name of it. I don't have any. So when
me and Amy went once.
Yeah.
And I had it in my head because the poster and shit. I basically went, look, it's Teens Park on the beach.
Yeah.
Beside a beach, right? So I thought, this sounds fucking excellent, right? And the lineup were like Oasis were on the first night. It's 4 nights. Oasis were headlining, then Franz Ferdinand, then Kings of Leon, and I think, was it the Killers or someone else was headlining the other night, right? It was fucking awesome. And bands all the way through the day, DJ, and the good thing was, like, they had a headliner come on and then another headliner come on afterwards, which is normally a dance act. So like too many DJs come on afterwards, like Orbit will come on. So we thought it was going to be amazing. And what you don't realize is it's so hot. Like it's in the summer. So it's like 38 to 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And in a tent, that is insane weather. Like like fucking insane.
I don't think I've ever been in one of that.
And there's no, like, why we didn't think to book like an Airbnb or some shit like that, or an apartment in the town. The first night's great, right? First night we just got pissed. We ended up pissed on the beach. Fucking great, right? And then they wake up the next morning and the heat is so intense because you can't sleep past like 5 so you're knackered now as well.
Yeah.
And the festival isn't home till like 4 in the afternoon, so you got nothing to do. You either go to the beach, you go to the wee town, but there's no escape from this heat. There's nowhere to go. So by about the 3rd day, we saw people sleeping in the shadows of vans just to get any kind of respite or shade from this. Because where you're on the beach, there's no trees or anything, so there's no shade anywhere, right? So, I mean, it was like fucking hell on earth. Like, the arguments we had that week were insane.
Oh, you would be
like,
just...
properly just... We had a guy leathering someone, like absolutely leathering someone just up the back, and nobody could do anything because we're like, even if I wanted to stop this, I can't. I don't have the energy to do it, right?
It's so funny. All the DJs are in slow motion.
So the first 2 nights were fine. On the third night, it ended up... So winds started, like really, really gusty winds started as well. Apparently it was like a mini hurricane, right? We found out later on. But it ended up Kings of Leon pulled that night because they couldn't guarantee the safety. Because the fucking sound speakers were like...
Oh, God, yeah.
Whipping like that. So Paul Weller was on stage. And... Weller was on for about...
Paul Weller.
He's on stage. He'd done about 25 minutes, and then he finished with like a fucking Style Council song. It wasn't even like a jam song. I think he did Eating Rifles or something like that. Style Council song, and then just fucked off, right? He hadn't played much of the Paul Weller solo stuff. Some of that, it's a bit fucking shy. Was that all he's playing? And then we looked over on the hills behind us, and there was just this wave of flames coming towards us. Like, it was like fucking intense. And it was going to hit, like, because up in the disabled bit, there was like a raised bit where all the disabled people were all in wheelchairs. And they were going to get hit first. So you had fucking people getting wheeled away. And the place got fucking evacuated because all this wildfire. Because I didn't realise, obviously, wind it just fuels the thing constantly. Yeah.
That's mad.
Aye.
Do you know that them disabled things they watch concerts on? I tell you about the time in Forbidden Fruit that McGregor turned up. This is when he was...
Conor or Ewan?
Conor McGregor turned up the Forbidden Fruit Festival, and this is when he was slightly before the sexual assaults and the coke and the whatever, so he was still somewhat liked, but he was still a fucking wank because I can't remember who was playing. I think it was like fucking somebody. It wasn't Tiny Tempa. It was he's fucking dreadful live Skepta. So Skepta's coming on and in the main stage, and McGregor comes in and his posse come in first of all and clear out the disabled ramp. They were just like, just wheeled all the wheelchair people out.
Jesus.
And when McGregor has to sit here because he has to get away from the people. Sat the disabled people on the side, and him and his posse were all in the thing with security. And I was just like,
That's
madness.
Foreshadowing to the prick he would become.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
It still stuck with me because I was like, they literally wheeled wheelchair people off and went, fuck your view.
That's brutal. That is brutal. Before we do the film, I've had an idea this week, right? So we had pals over on Saturday for lunch, and my pal was telling me that his sister-in-law, right, had bought his brother-in-law for Christmas, right? His gift was she had entered him into the Edinburgh Marathon.
Okay, right.
Which is a shit gift. Like, he's not even, like, I don't even think he's really that into running, right?
Okay.
But it's an original gift. Unique, right? So we started talking about marathons, right? Because I've done the Edinburgh one twice. So I was talking about the Edinburgh Marathon, right? And then we were talking about the guy. Do you remember the guy in the London? Because there's certain marathons in France that go through a wine country. Right. So they stop at every vineyard that they pass. I think they're only half marathons actually, but every vineyard you stop at, you get a glass of whatever wine they're producing. Right.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a really sophisticated half marathon, right?
Yeah.
Slow, obviously, but do you remember the guy this year at the London Marathon who he took like 2 plastic wine glasses with him? And people were bringing wines out, and he'd have a glass of wine at every mile marker. So he had some of them that were in like wee sachets in case someone wasn't there.
Okay.
Right. And they'd scooshed him in. And he became like a phenomenon when it was on telly because he'd stop every time. And the great thing was, the reason he did it was he was able to tell what wine it was.
Oh,
like,
really?
So they'd come out with a glass of wine for him. He'd go, that's a Merlot, or that's a... Do you know, sometimes to the point where he'd tell the year as well. Like, he was that fucking good.
That's a little mad.
So I want to do it at London, where tan a pint at every mile. Right? Now, I've been thinking about it for days now. I don't know if it's... I think it's possible.
How the fuck's it possible, you mad bastard? It's 26 miles.
Yes, right. I've done a marathon before, right? I've done 2 and I've not trained for them, right? So this one I would train for.
Yeah.
But it would need to be a special type of training, because you can't just train for a marathon and then suddenly introduce a pint in every mile. So the training would need to incorporate pints. So I would need to go out for 8-mile runs and have 8 pints while I'm on the run. Right? So that's my first obstacle.
This is
my
fucking
second
dreadful.
obstacle is I don't know if your body can cope with
I don't think anybody... 26 pints.
26 pints.
Never.
But
While doing a marathon, you'll have a heart attack.
the reason I think it's possible is
Piss yourself.
I think the mile of running in between the pints works off the pint.
It makes you incredibly dehydrated.
Yeah, I'd be drinking water as well.
Fucking shocking.
Imagine it, right? Because I think... So, my plan would be, wherever the start line is, I don't know where the start line is.
I feel like a dram would be easier.
I don't like whiskey, though. So...
I mean, it doesn't seem like what you're doing here
I
is
only
anything
drink
for
pints.
pleasure. Like, so...
No, because it'd be funny. And it'd be an achievement.
You would go down in history as the guy that died of
It'd
as
be a
well.
fringe show.
13 hours.
Right.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
So, my idea would be... Because I'd need to obviously kick it off with one before we started.
You don't.
So whenever, so I don't know whether to do it, right? I don't know what's more impressive, whether I go before mile one, wherever it starts, I find the nearest pub to that starting line. I have a pint there before we set off, and then I carry 26 cans on my back, right?
It'd be better with cans, maybe.
Right? Or is it better, and I don't know if this is plausible, is it better option 2 that I stop each mile marker at the nearest pub and have one?
How long does it take you to do that?
Because I think if I contact the pubs beforehand to say I'm doing this, someone runs out with a pint, I tan it, set off again, right? It's good publicity for them as well.
Yeah.
Or do I take it to chance and hope people catch on to the story like they did with this wine dude? And each mile people come out of their houses
With a can.
with a can. I don't know. There's a lot of things I need to weigh up here.
It would be a good way to die. I think that's what will happen.
I don't think I would die. I don't think
I think you'd pass out. I think you'd be dead by mile 12.
this since, because I've not mentioned this to anyone else, but now this is the first time since you've mentioned it that I'm actually drinking 26 pints. This has added a new thing to me.
How have you not thought? That's what I'm saying. Like the drinking part alone, sitting still.
My initial cause for concern was the drinking and the running. I have never drunk 26 pints
yeah.
in a 5-hour period before.
I mean, I know people, I think you'd be well up in the height of people that could possibly do it, but I don't think you could do it. Your problem is pints.
Let me know your thoughts, guys.
It's pints is your issue. Cans, still bad. Still don't think you could do it. It's about 18 pints still in
I also
there.
think our can is not fizzier.
Yeah.
So that's adding because they're carbonated to be kept in the can. I can't do a shot. Are you fucking mad?
How the fuck's that mad?
Because it's not a story either. Fuck, like, look at him, he's doing a tiny wee shot.
Yeah, okay. I do get that actually in fairness.
Like a nonce.
Like a dram of whiskey though. 26 whiskeys while you're on would still be a story.
It would be. If I liked whiskey, that would be the ideal.
I love whiskey. Why don't you just do whiskey?
Because the 26 different whiskies would be...
Class, yeah.
Yeah.
You come out, you go, I've already had one. Yeah. Miles 4.
Yeah. But then whiskey get aggressive halfway through.
Deck in the other.
Fighting some cunt dressed as Super Mario. Just trying to raise money for his local children's hospital.
That's great.
So I'm going to look into it. It won't be this year, certainly. I don't have time before April.
If you've got any suggestions of how we could fix this to make it possible, or a little bit more possible.
Yeah. Imagine the publicity for the podcast.
Oh my God. Absolute Cuts t-shirt.
Yeah. Yes. See? You on mile 13.
Yeah. I'd have to take over at the halfway point.
We could try and
half mile each.
We could raise money for something and then try and get the most obscure stars from films we've done. Randy Quaid to do a message on Instagram.
Randy would definitely do it. I feel like
He would.
He's probably already done one.
Can
We haven't asked
you
him.
imagine if, like, I don't know when it's like April the 8th or something like that. Imagine April the 2nd, Wesley Snipes doing a video wishing me the best of luck, drinking 26 pints while running a marathon.
Watching it on My Late to give yourself. Blade says go. I've got a cameo from DJ Quills. Give it up, Mark. Oh, fucking hell.
Right.
Well, we'll go film time.
Yes, this week we are doing Speed, which I always knew I loved Speed, but I forgot how much I actually love Speed.
Yeah, I watched it last night. I've left it to the last possible second this time, and I was delighted.
It's superb.
I don't. First two things. First of all, I don't remember it being as good. I remember thinking it was a good film, but I don't remember it being as good. And second of all, I don't remember. I thought the whole thing was pretty much started on the bus and ended on the bus.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
Just don't remember any of the rest. I thought it pretty much started. He happened to be on the bus, but there's way more to this.
Oh yeah, it's not even a film. It's 3 different action scenes
Aye,
put together. That's all it is.
Yeah, big fan of it.
It's just there's a bomb in a lift, then there's a bomb in a bus, then there's a bomb in a subway train.
Yeah.
It's fucking class.
I just thought it was all bus.
Absolutely brilliant.
Bomb in an elevator.
And like I say, Dennis Hopper just being class as a mad bastard.
Yeah. I love Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper's great.
So he's obviously, because he's a former bomb disposal.
Yeah.
He worked for the Atlanta bomb disposal department, but he's blown his left hand off.
That's probably why he didn't get the. It's probably why he didn't get the pension. He's like, you're fucking shite, man.
That was his first day.
Your
Blew his own hand off.
Yeah. Careers in ruins.
Do you know what I didn't understand? There's a cut, right? Because obviously, with films that we universally love, we'll try and find bits that are wrong with it, and there is a lot in this. None of it makes sense.
Not really.
There's so many decisions. One of the things I noticed, the Hopper has got no thumb on his left hand, so he always holds the phone, because there's a lot of phone-based chat.
Yes.
He always holds the phone in his right hand, but he crosses his body to talk like that. You very rarely see people talking on the phone crossed over.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? You didn't blow your fucking right ear off.
Yeah,
so why are you not just holding it up like that? Why is it? And every single time, it's not like a couple of times where he's doing something else with his stump. But
a
he's
wank with a stump.
Yeah.
Aye. Even that would still be like, yeah.
The storyline basically is that Dennis Hopper is a former bomb disposal unit policeman who is disgruntled at the pension he got, and wants 3.5 million, 3.7 million.
Don't feel like it's the actual pension. He is.
No, I don't think that's what he'd be owed. He's just picked a random 3.7 million. So it starts off. He initially has it where he puts a bomb in an elevator in an office building, and is going to blow it up if he doesn't get it with people on board. And then Jeff Daniels and Keanu Reeves, who are SWAT, they get everyone off safely and then assume he's dead. And then he's not dead. And then he's put another bomb in a bus.
Yeah.
He's going to blow up unless he gets the money. Keanu Reeves gets on the bus. Eventually managed to get everyone off the bus safely. And then finally his last hurrah is he's got a bomb on a subway train. Fucking brilliant.
All speed, bar the elevator. Really, well, I suppose that is speed you're dropping.
Yeah, it still goes at a...
You know what I find very funny straight from the off? The absolute unnecessary ramp the police car does at the very...
Oh, amazing.
What, they're in the elevator, they get the call.
No need for it.
And Jeff Daniels is driving and he must have hit that hill at like 200 miles an hour. The car fucking is completely wrecked. It slides basically on its front.
It's the only car that does it as well.
Everybody else is driving normally.
If all the cop cars were going like that, but yeah, his is the only car that finds air.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeff, what the fuck are you doing up there?
I know.
Yeah.
It's that looks... I know it's a different city, because I think it's San Francisco in the Rock. That shot almost looks...
Yeah, that looks like that.
Identical.
That street. Yeah.
Absolutely identical, that shot. I also think this is the same score as The Rock. See that kind of dun 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 dun. Because I was like, I've heard this before.
I feel like I've heard that.
I need to go back and listen to the Rock, but
I don't know
very
if
similar.
it's the Rock. Was it the
Maybe
Rock?
it's not the Rock. Dun, 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 dun.
It did feel like I was like, God, they went straight into it because it went straight into like the bad graphics as well for the intro,
3D,
the 3D fucking
Yeah, someone's just got Microsoft Paint.
yeah.
Whoa, 3D.
Yeah, it even went. It swooshed
when the speed thing comes in. I know.
Yeah, but great. Yeah, so they start going in, blah blah blah. There's people stuck in an elevator. Do you know? By the way, first of all, I spot two people in this movie. Well, three. I didn't want to go Alan Ruck because he's in this, right? Mm-hmm. Who do you think? Do you recognize the SWAT team leader?
He's in Terminator.
That's it.
Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Is it Terminator
He's the
2?
guy that goes drops the
Yes.
Yeah. He's the guy that fucking invents basically Skynet, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Fuck yes, he is.
Yeah. They go fucking shoot his house out.
Because I initially thought it was the guy from Aliens, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not Epone from Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Who's the other one?
The old woman on the bus that falls under the wheels.
I don't know who that is.
Oh man, she's only hilarious deaf, but she's only known for whining. She's in a movie we've done too. She is in, and I'll give you the quote that was on my WhatsApp for ages. She's like, I sometimes doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
The Donnie Darko. Is it?
That's
She
her.
Donnie Darko?
That's hers. That's the woman, the whiny mother that keeps going, oh, I can't
Isn't
even,
it?
nobody will fucking dance. As soon as she started speaking, I was like, I know that fucking voice.
Because I think she's probably the most relatable person on the bus. Because of course you'd be fucking shitting yourself and panicking.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's way too many cam people on that bus.
Yeah. They pretty much, a lot of them accepted death immediately.
Aye.
You know, or dealt with it. At least there was an argument at one stage.
Yeah.
But one guy pulled a gun immediately.
Well, they also seem to take the news about there being a bomb on the bus without
Like,
much question. Like, because I fucking knew it. Like,
Yeah.
every day there's something on this bus. If it's not late, it's some jakey pissing up the back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
somebody playing their music too loud through their foot. Now it's a fucking bomb.
Yeah. that when it flashes up, you know, they put it right on, right, and there's a bomb on a bus,
Yeah.
to make it, and it flashes and hits the window.
Yeah.
And the Sam, the driver, is like, he was like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Not like last Thursday. Is this over 50 or under? Because the last time it was.
The guy that pulls the gun, right? First of all, I can kind of understand it. Like, see if you're sitting on a bus, right? So he's obviously done something, right? So he's sitting there with what I imagine is an unlicensed firearm. If you then see a guy flashing a badge and a gun, chasing the fucking thing,
Yeah.
like not giving up at all. Like he's on foot, and then he commandeers a vehicle to get to this. Of course you're thinking, well, this must be for me. There's no, like, you're looking around, you're like, it's not for the elderly couple.
Yeah.
It's not for the whiny woman up the front. It's not for this tourist fucker.
Yeah.
This guy's just coming back for work. Like, it must be me, the guy that's got a gun. It must be.
Do you know what he said? He kind of calms him down and goes, like, you know, whatever it is, we're cool now.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, thank God, gang rape. Then he pulls the gun again and goes, no, actually, no.
I thought the exact same thing.
He was done.
When Kenny goes, whatever crime you've committed, I don't care. I'm sure you're very sorry. And he's going, woof.
Oh, 9/11.
An entire car boot full of children.
They're in the bus.
It's all right.
They're on
Jack Travis said we were cool now.
he got an official pardon for the most heinous crime because he just happened to be on a bus.
Nobody ever follows up on it either.
Yeah.
As soon as that ramp bus stops at the airport, he just walks off and goes, woohoo!
Man, that bomb is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Exonerated from all crimes. That's so funny.
He was on his way to shut up a school.
Yeah.
It's like, woof.
Yeah. Because he shoots the fucking driver and anything. He's like, it's okay.
He doesn't even get questioned about that.
Yeah, he's
The
just
fact
like,
that he shoots the driver.
man's bleeding to death on the ramp. Who was this? The terrorist? No, it was actually. It'd be even funnier if it was way less of a crime.
Yeah.
Do you know if he committed something like he fucking his road frontage has been overgrown?
Yeah. He's driven without an MOT.
That's why he's on the bus. I drove once without my MOT. They're coming for me. Ends up fired down for manslaughter.
So, like, I know we've. Oh, I'll leave that for later because I've got a good question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know that this film, when I was doing, I'll do it right. I'll tell you all the facts I've got, right? Because one of them's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This isn't actually that much trivia on this film. This one's a bit. Sandra Bullock genuinely learned how to drive a bus. She passed the bus driving test first time.
Fair play to her.
Which I think's good of her.
Yeah.
But I also think, you know, you find out what people have done to, like when Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3, he learned how to use like a fucking katana sword. And then other people have learned firearms. That's got to be one of the shittest.
I found it proper. Did you see Jennifer Gardner recently going viral?
No, she got
because somebody handed it to her. They were like, "Oh, this is one of your old things from Electra, like 15 years ago or whatever." She's backstage at like
the fork thing.
Yeah, and she just started going.
Yeah,
flipping her in the hand. You're like, great.
See, that's a cool thing to learn if you're on.
Yeah.
Even if you're going on and you're like, I know. I've still not seen it, but the Maestro film where Bradley Cooper learned how to orchestrate. He learned how to conduct an orchestra for that particular piece. Class. Like it took him years to learn how to do it, but that's all right. If you're playing someone, if you're playing Ray Charles, like if you learned how to play the piano, that's cool. You're coming out of it with a skill. Coming out with a bus driver license isn't the coolest.
That's great.
You're like, meh.
Denzel came out of Philadelphia with AIDS.
Denzel?
Oh,
what the fuck? What, the lawyer?
He wanted to get involved too.
What, he just wanted sympathy pains?
It's been a while since I've seen Philadelphia. I've got this all wrong, haven't I? Tom Hanks.
Also, do you think it'd be that difficult to drive a bus?
I can't fuck it. I failed driving tests, so
I could be easier to drive a bus than a car.
I think it's more that it's like it would be easier, I presume, like the basics, but it's more like your perception of how big the fucking thing is.
If you were driving a bus, a routed bus, but in this case, they're like, crash into whatever you want. We don't give a shit.
Oh, I see.
So in that way,
in fact, she hits a lot of cars at one
tons.
stage. I was like, are you aiming at these? Yeah.
And also, she never changes gear. So it's an automatic bus.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's just a really long go-kart.
Yeah.
So pretty easy to drive a bus.
She did do that jackknife and turn, though.
That's cool.
That was good.
That was
everybody
cool.
Get on this side?
Yeah, that was
It'd be
cool.
great if one of them just ran like, hit the window and the whole thing goes.
Imagine just one massive fat guy on it.
Yeah.
Right. Just you. That's all.
Yeah.
Just you on that side. Just you.
Yeah. We can't all go this side.
Yeah, we don't want to tip the other way.
Yeah. Go around the corner and manage to tip that way. I don't even know how physically that happened.
The cast, right, so this is good, right, because I think Hopper's brilliant in this. I love Dennis Hopper
I like
anyway.
him anyway, yeah. This is the same year as... Is this the same year as True Romance or close to it?
Was it 93 True Romance? Yeah,
I think
94.
It was. So about 94. The same, though.
Yeah, it's about the kind of same time. After he did Mario,
what?
Where he played, who's he playing Mario? The Mario Brothers film. He plays the lizard. Who's the fucking bad guy in Mario Brothers?
Wario?
No, Wario's the evil brother.
Bowser?
What's his name? Bowser. Yeah, he played Bowser. So Hopper, the other people in contention for the role, Jack Nicholson would have also been good.
Yeah.
De Niro would have also been good.
Yeah. I'm glad I went with Hopper, though.
I'm glad they went with Hopper, but it would have been Nicholson just being Nicholson as he is in every film. And it would have been De Niro, I reckon, Cape Fear De Niro.
Yeah. De Niro I'd prefer than Nicholson, to be honest.
Aye.
I think Nicholson might overdo it.
Keanu Reeves, there are two people that were in contention. Obviously, Tom Cruise.
Okay, yeah, that would have worked. I'm
Right,
sure
it would have worked, but he was offered everything at that point.
Yeah.
The two that were really in contention, Wesley Snipes
Oh, I loved it.
would have also been good.
Yeah, would have been not as big a film, I reckon.
No.
Even though he probably was bigger at the time. But
Aye. Woody Harrelson.
Nah,
I can't see.
It has to be a handsome dude, I feel.
Aye.
Not that I think that.
I can't see Harrelson doing it.
Yeah, nah.
This is the most interesting one for the Sandra Bullock, because Sandra Bullock wasn't really that. This made her a massive star.
I want to say, though, that I've heard done this before. When was Demolition Man?
The year before.
Yeah, so that was the thing.
That
She
was
was on
93.
nothing then. So she obviously did that, and they were like, right.
She had done a couple of films, but
Yeah.
Demolition Man was her first big role.
Yeah.
And then
was
this
a
made her
blockbuster.
a huge star.
Yeah.
And she's not, I mean, she's not the star of this film, but
No.
she is, and really hot.
Yeah.
Really hot, like unconventionally.
Unconventionally, I still think she is.
I know she is. She's a very, very attractive woman, but like in no way is she made out to be a sex symbol at all in this film.
No.
Do you know what I mean? She's not like, if Megan Fox was in this film, she'd have like a vest on.
Yeah.
That was getting progressively more sweaty, whereas she's just...
If Megan Fox was the driver, I would have shot her. Fucking have like, fuck this.
Yeah, but Bullock's just rocking up with a fucking Arizona Wildcats hoodie on and a dress, so...
Smashing it out of the park.
Yeah. So the other two people, Halle Berry...
That would have worked.
That would have worked.
But
again, I think too attractive. I think if Halle Berry was in it, they'd have gone down the road of getting her to sweat, getting the sun shining in a certain... They'd have had a scene in slow-mo where she was taking something off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The titty flying out the window when she's going around the corner.
Yeah. The other two, Meryl Streep. What? Fucking bizarre film that would have been.
Yeah.
And the person that was almost given it, right? Because initially that character was just going to be like a comedic kind of comedy foil for Keanu Reeves' serious action star. Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh.
That would have been abysmal.
Oh, no.
What a shite film that would have been.
Again, steering into the car, like steering into... You could shoot her as well.
Oh,
That'd be
Christ, yeah.
horrible.
Oh, I wouldn't even... I'd like... if you were a passenger and Ellen DeGeneres was the one that got herself fucked.
She's really fucked her up, hasn't she?
Yeah,
Everyone
good.
fucking hates her now.
Yeah. I reckon all of them, you know, like you find out all of those, like Fallon and Kimmel and all that dark side to all of them.
Yeah, do you know, like, she's still married to Portia de Rossi?
I don't know. I don't know whether she still stayed with her after the whole abuse
Yeah.
allegations. And
Yeah.
there is, so the other ones are quite cool. The one that was given to me by Chris Thorburn, who we both know, great comedian Chris Thorburn.
He's a movie whiz.
Yes, he sent me and I'm going to show you this. When he heard we were doing Speed this week, he sent me a thing on Instagram saying, "I'm delighted you're doing Speed. Do you know what it's now?" I'll have to get this correct. Where's his fucking... there we go. It was like, do you know what they called Speed in Norway?
No.
Right? That's the poster. It's called Fart.
That's so
Your dig klar for rushtid. Fart.
Let me see the poster again. It's even funnier that it because it says fart and then there's a bus in the air with flames behind it. So the bus is farted, flown in the air.
Someone's farted so badly on a bus they've had to set fire to it.
Jesus Christ. That's so funny. Surely somebody in Norway is like, we can't do this.
It's very funny.
We're just going to have to call it fast.
Yeah. In the initial...
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock and
fart. Dennis Hopper, the role of a lifetime.
Yeah, it'll blow you away.
The original script, and I think this would have been really, really good. The original script had Hopper dying. So Hopper's character, it wouldn't have been Dennis Hopper, obviously. Yep. It would have been just a bit part actor. But the lift scene was always going to happen. That guy was genuinely good because they think he's died because he's blown up in the car park of the building. But he faked his own death. He was originally going to die for real, right?
That would have been
legitimately going to die.
Set shit up.
No. another bomber, and they just assumed it was him. At the end, it was revealed to be Jeff Daniels.
That would have been good.
That would have been fucking class.
Okay, yeah, that would have
Proper
been.
double cross.
Yeah, but he blew himself up.
Yeah.
No, but no, they would obviously leave.
I mean, I don't know what the reasoning for him doing that.
I thought Jeff Daniels was good in this. Do you know what? Jeff Daniels, because I don't really know him too much. This is funny. Like,
This and Dumb and Dumber.
oh, well, yeah, I know
Same
him.
here.
Looper,
Yeah.
a bit in Looper. I don't
West-
really know him
it's
in
more-
other shit. Like,
Aye.
but he was quite. I thought he was quite good in this. He also. It could have been an easy one to fuck up. I remember it so well now. I was always haunted by him dying. You know, good face. He's got such an expressive face. So when he knows he's going to die and he looks at the bomb, he doesn't move. You're like,
It is one of those.
I've seen it before. Like, it's not new, but it's a good
No,
one.
it's a good death face. It's a good realizing I'm about to die face. But that's one of the things where you go, why? I mean, like, he's a bomb expert.
He should know.
He should know that he's wired up the house.
He's probably, he should know.
It also is quite easy. They come to the realization that it's Dennis Hopper's character quite quickly. So you'd think, has he wanted to be caught here?
I think they were trying to make we've got his location, we're running out of time, we've got him. And they all sprint. I think what he's trying to say is it was such a quick thing, he didn't really think, why the fuck's
possibly,
the house? And to be honest, that's why when he looks at the thing, I feel like he looks more disappointed.
That's a good
Because in my opinion, he is sad and knows, but he's also like,
I fucked up
he's
here.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's what I would read out of it.
That is a very good point.
Because he literally answers in the phone, goes, we got him, I think I know his location, slams the phone out, and they're already waiting on the bus, so he has no time, so they just fucking sprint in.
That's a very good point.
I think he just runs in and makes him out.
Aye.
One guy gets blown out the window.
Aye. Right, we'll go with that. Do you know who was brought in to write most of the dialogue in the script?
Del Toro.
No, Josh Whedon.
Was he?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know he was around that day.
Yeah.
Of course he would.
So
Yeah,
he...
okay.
And the
Buffy,
reason, right? So he was brought in to do rewrites in the script, basically for dialogue, because the dialogue was dog shit apparently before this. So he added a lot of the funnier lines. Like, there's some very funny lines. Like when he calls the Gigantor, he doesn't know anyone's name. He's like, "You Gigantor."
Was there any need for that? That's so funny.
And
Here, puffy lips. Here.
the very first line that Keanu Reeves has in the film is very funny, because the guy for Terminator 2 is kind of asking whoever owns the building, is there anything that's going to stop this lift from falling? And Keanu Reeves just goes, basement. I was like, that's a funny line. The reason he was brought in was because the studio were so impressed by a script that he had called Suspension, right, which was never ever made, and it was basically described as Die Hard on a bridge.
Okay.
Right, the plot of the script was about a newly released ex-con who is also a martial artist who gets trapped in the George Washington Bridge with hundreds of other people as terrorists, led by a psychopathic Chinese mercenary who takes it over and threatens to blow it up and kill everyone unless ransom is paid. The ex-con and a female police officer are the only ones who can stop them.
Great. Sounds terrible. And
That sounds like a good film. Do you know who was lined up to be the
bad guy.
The martial artist police officer?
Who?
Liam Neeson.
Let me guess who the Chinese terrorist was. Scarlett Johansson. No, that sounds fun. I mean,
That sounds like a good film.
Josh Whedon's also done, isn't he? And he's done
think
some.
so,
He's another day. Fuck me.
It's Josh Whedon that did the
Buffy,
Buffy, but he did all the
Firefly,
Superman films. Was that
He
Whedon?
might have. He might have. That makes sense. Or
The
is that
Whedon
Zack
cut?
Snyder?
That's Zack Snyder. Sorry, yeah, that is. Whedon, was he part of Marvel?
He might have been. It sounds like somebody they definitely would have got, because he did Buffy and shit. Like, he did Buffy, Firefly, Serenity. There's some other big ones he's done. He's definitely done bigger stuff recently.
Buffy was great. I love Buffy.
Yeah.
Right.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
The other right. The other right. There is a right. So I've got three, or I've got two more. Right. There is a connection with this film with two of the greatest comedy shows of all time. What do you think they are?
Greatest comedy shows of all time. This is going to be interesting. Oh yeah, I know. Father Ted.
Yes!
Father Ted's
That's one of them.
Father Ted's brilliant. Does a whole speed episode with the milk float.
It's called Speed 3.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
You put a brick on it.
Yeah, so the milk float, if it reaches 4 miles an hour, it gets banned, and then if it goes below 4, it blows up. Yeah,
It's so good because it's driving down the road and there's a big load of boxes and they're all just cardboard boxes, and he just slowly, instead of just swiping them, he starts taking them down one at a time.
Yeah.
And takes the last one.
yeah.
You put a brick on the thing and he Dougal lifts it and goes, "You left your brick."
Yeah. Right, well done.
Stupid.
The other one's The Simpsons. Right?
Oh, really?
There's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer is trying to describe speed that he's just seen, and he calls it, he can't remember what it's called. So he says, I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
The bus that couldn't slow down.
The other fact is, what event that is very, very similar to this film happened a week after it was released?
Oh. I don't know.
The O.J. Simpson car chase.
Oh, really? That's great.
Literally the same freeways.
That's amazing.
I mean, if I watched a YouTube video where they compare like for like the shots and speed to the helicopter shots
OJ.
of them chasing OJ, and it's almost identical.
Did you? I wonder if when the police cars were pulling up beside OJ, they were like, "We're cops," and he's like, "What? What? Can't hear you." That guy couldn't hear shit.
Big OJ, because so obviously when we did Die Hard, we were talking about how there was this, because Die Hard has been done so many times in films in terms of Die Hard on a something or Die Hard in a something. So this is Die Hard on a bus.
Yeah.
Right? I had an idea, right? Because I was thinking, what could we write a film about Die Hard
Like.
on a or in a?
Right.
Die Hard in a comedy club.
Okay. Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the premise.
Oh, you know all about that.
I've just realised how that actually reads. Die Hard in a comedy. Right. So, Die Hard in a comedy club.
Yeah.
Right. So, someone has rigged, let's say the Stand Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Someone has rigged the stage with an explosive. Right. It's a disgruntled GB News presenter who claims he's not allowed to play the stand because of his political allegiance.
Okay.
Right. He's rigged the stage with
Right.
explosives. Right? Once the first laugh is heard, the bomb is armed.
Yeah.
If the laugh rate drops below 3 laughs per 10 seconds, the bomb explodes.
Okay.
Who do you put on?
Well, I just have to take myself. I'm like, I'll have to cover this, guys, because I don't. Do you know? First of all, there
A
is
20 minute. Right, so I
there is-
compare.
there is a problem here now.
Right.
Do a crowd know that the place is bombed?
Yes. Well,
Because they would just laugh.
no, they don't. No,
So
they don't.
there must be a thing like you can't tell.
Yeah, you're not allowed to tell the crowd.
Yeah.
But there has to be such a bulletproof lineup that the laugh rate is not stopping. Right? So, compare, opening act, headliner. Who are you going for? To guarantee that those laughs never stop so it explodes.
I would say I would choose myself.
You would genuinely choose
Yeah,
yourself.
and I'll tell you why.
That is an insane.
I'll tell you why.
decision.
I'll tell you why. It's nothing to do with thinking you're good or not.
Right.
Are we talking about local or anybody in the world?
Well, no, so British circuit.
On the
British circuit.
I'll tell you why I choose myself. It's because I have so many jokes. So I keep some sort of a laugh that if they bombed, I'd have another 2 very quickly every 9 seconds.
But that's a risk you're taking, because what if it's one of those crowds that just doesn't like dark jokes? You're fucked.
That's true. It was nothing to do with talent. I thought I was just like.
I think me and you are far too risky an option for this.
So if we so we have to rule ourselves out because we're risky.
I think
then.
we're too risky. I don't think.
Right, yeah, that's a
I think
good
if someone
point.
takes it wrong or heckling starts,
Aye.
I think
Like,
we're
what,
too
you
risky.
fucking-
Yeah, I think we're too risky.
Oh, you'll regret heckling this. You fucking
Yeah.
Well, we all will. Yeah. Also, if it blows up, they'll think it's me.
Exactly.
My accent.
Exactly.
Like fucker.
Yeah.
fucking wanker.
Right, compare.
So, because I thought, right. So in my theory, is there someone that has short jokes?
I like, and I understand your theory, but
Would like Mark Simmons work as one of them? As like the opening?
again, I like the idea,
But it's still
with
short,
Mark,
like, short,
but then
short,
a
too short.
groan because Mark does puns as well.
Yes.
I think like him and Delaney or a Milton Jones would be too risky as well because some might get a groan.
Yeah.
And that's, by the time a groan happens, that's taken away about 3 of your seconds. So
Right, MC.
it needs to be rapid fire, but it also needs to be hilarious at the same time.
Who the fuck would we get to MC then? Let's stick to this.
I was thinking Ferry.
Yeah, okay.
I think Mick Ferry.
I'd take that. I'd
Yeah,
be fine
I think
with
Mick Ferry's got enough in terms of being a class MC in terms of crowd work, but if they weren't going for crowd work, he can slam in.
that. Yes.
He can slam in material as well to keep the laugh rate up.
Right. I'll go with that. I'll go with McFerry too, right? Do you know what? I've got an idea for a headliner. Phil Nickel.
Yes, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Drown out. Not drown out, but enough, constantly going, high energy.
High energy is what you
and
need.
good at the stuff. So
And you need, and also with the crowd work stuff that Nickel does as well, I think is ideal. So but opener, it doesn't need to be, it can be any comedian, it could be another headliner.
it's very funny that we're going to pretty much come out with a fucking lineup basically of older white guys, aren't we?
Yeah.
Older comics at least.
You can't take the risk. I mean, as much as it's not right to say,
It's just funny when you're doing it. We're like, well, your life's on the line.
there
here.
will be
So
a
who are we
group.
choosing?
There will be a group of, and it has to be a certain proportion of the audience laughing as well. It can't be like, because there could be one guy that loves whoever's on stage and is just fucking cackling the whole time.
Yeah.
And there will be, if you bring a female act on, there will be.
I do have an idea.
There
Though.
will always be a wank in the audience that goes, "I'm purposefully not laughing at this person."
That is a risk. The audience being wankers, because I do have one for opening. Zoe Lyons.
That is very good. Zoe probably transcends that actually. Zoe and Joe Caulfield probably transcend that actually.
So I would stick with Mick Ferry, Zoe Lyons,
And Phil Nickel.
Phil Nickel,
That's a good lineup.
and then in the middle to take us home, Dapper Laughs. Phil Nickel's like, well, I'm not going to see my set.
Yeah. The other ones I would throw in Jeff Innocent as well.
Yeah, I don't know him. Never seen him live.
I would throw in Jeff.
I've heard he's great. Yeah.
And who else was I thinking? See, I thought about Stade, but I think again Tom's far too big a risk. Because if Tom is also the kind of person, if he learned about this, would purposely try and fuck it up.
He'd try and blow us up.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what a way to go.
Yeah. But we could have none of our friends.
No.
None of our friends.
No. I'd pull the trigger myself if Elliot tried to do too.
Troy wouldn't work.
Nah, couldn't do that.
Kai might. I mean, Kai could probably.
Kai would have a good chance.
Kai would be the best option of all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Danny will be awful. Christ,
No,
what?
trying to make rape or something.
If it was 3 weeps every 10 seconds, if there was 3 poignant points to really go away and think about and see what we've learned every 3 seconds, absolutely
If you've
get
learned
Daniel
nothing.
in. Yeah.
Every 3 minutes, the bomb will go off.
If you haven't gone away and examined your own behaviour, then the bomb will go off.
That's so funny. War, maybe.
What? Yeah, I'd
Better,
say
a
what.
bit on the higher one. On the higher of
I'd
the
say Warren
trustworthy.
Gareth out of all of us would probably be
Yeah.
the best shout.
That's very funny. I can't believe I said it myself because I just realised now I just go out and do like the abortion upliner and then it would tank immediately. I could have actually have destroyed the gig.
You could,
within one joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Which has happened before. That's
Yeah.
very funny.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go.
That's good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, do you remember? Was it during? I think it was during First Blood that we did like a Mount Rushmore of action stars.
Okay.
And it was between. So we had Arnie,
Yeah.
Stallone,
Yeah, we
Van
had
Damme.
argument. People have started me, by the way, in person about this.
Really?
I have 2 people come up to me and go, "You have Van Damme above Stallone."
Aye.
And I'm like,
Who was the fourth one? Was it
every
Statham?
fucking time. I said Jason Statham deserves to, but I think he's going to be a couple more years until he's actually
Aye.
people put him in that.
Why is Keanu Reeves never mentioned in that?
He absolutely should be.
He should be. You never think of him as
I don't know.
one of the greatest action stars. But
Is it because he does blockbusters outside of action?
I don't know.
Is that what
But
it
then
is?
Stallone also does that. But
his boxing.
if you look at this, right? So Keanu Reeves, Point Break,
Yeah.
then Speed,
Yeah.
then The Matrix,
Yeah.
then the John Wick films.
Yeah. And
In terms of action, that's fucking
Street
impressive.
Kings. I fucking love Street Kings.
That's an impressive action CV. That
Has he got more? He's
arguably the biggest action film of the not Terminator
three of them
2.
are fucking
Late 90s, the biggest action film in terms of The Matrix, and then the Wick films, probably the biggest action films of the past.
the franchise.
10 years?
Yeah. See, there's the producers of John Wick are making the Josh Hartnett airplane movie. No, it's a trailer. I haven't seen it. So Josh Hartnett's on an airplane filled with only assassins. I'm like, what? The fuck? I don't know how it works. As
Are they going to a convention?
The Assassins Convention or something. They're all basically on a jumbo 737 with only assassins. I'm like, I don't know what the thing is. I don't know if they're all against each other, if they're all trying to kill him, if he's to kill all them.
That's incredible.
But yeah, it's a new job. I'm trying to think of any other Keanu Reeves movies that are massive in the thing. Because I know he did like things in Bill and Ted's and Knock, that one where he just constantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's done serious. So he's all our Shakespeare films. Did that shit Dracula film. Aye. But in terms of action, that's five or six big action films. Yeah, and that's discounting the Matrix sequels as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good point.
He's in the discussion.
He's definitely in the discussion, yeah.
Also, again, the endearingness of Keanu Reeves' acting is phenomenal. Cans.
Yeah.
There was no baby. It was just cans.
How good would it be, though?
I knew you were going to say it. As soon as I watched that scene, I was like, Cullen's going to mention that the only thing wrong with the film was it wasn't an actual baby in the pram.
It's just cans, and there's just a bit of baby all over the place. The road's completely with cans. Should you put her tomato soups in with the baby?
That woman doesn't look mental and homeless enough to be a pram full of can person.
They pussied out of the scene.
Yeah.
You know why they pussied out of the scene? Because they showed her kissing a woman just beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You didn't notice that? She kisses a woman, and then you're meant to go, lesbian.
It can't. Really?
Probably not a baby. And I went, pussies.
Wow.
She should have been sitting there fucking like half wanking off her husband.
But it's a difficult thing to do because then you can't make her proper screaming at the moon homeless.
McCann's.
Because then you go.
The Simpsons.
Then the minute you see her, you go, oh, that's going to be a pram full of cans.
Yeah.
So
that is funny though. That does another Simpsons one. McCann's, my precious antique cans.
Yeah. There's also about a minute after she hits. So Sandra Bullock is so distraught at the fact that she's almost killed a baby, and then distraught for about 30 seconds until she almost mows down an entire classroom full of children crossing the road.
It was so funny how many people just kept, like, you know, next is like the fucking Girl Scout cookies selling, because I just swerving past them, old people in wheelchairs.
But cancer patients at the children's hospital getting wheeled across in gurneys like that.
Captain Tom. It's so funny. Gurneys. Yeah.
Right. Things wrong with the film. First of all, even though it's a very cool scene, there is not a chance that bus is ever jumping that.
Oh, no.
Not a chance.
It didn't even make sense in the... It went...
Yeah. Well, how's it gaining? I know it, because he says
it would just go...
He's like, it's an off-ramp, so there's probably an incline. I'm like, no, that's literally never happened. And you don't go off a motorway here and go, fuck's sake, I better hit it, I better slow down because the incline in this bastard I'm going to take off.
Yeah. Another thing is, if I was the policeman, I think I'd be driving the bus most of the time.
But then he's got other shit to deal with. He's got to be chatting to...
I do get that, but I don't. I just feel like there's times like, we're going to do like a star punch. He was like, I can't do this. He was like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I reckon the trained pursuit guy is going to be like, I'll do this.
I know what you mean, aye.
You know?
Aye.
You know, he's like, just fucking hit it and spin.
Aye. But it's a great stunt. I mean, it's really cool to watch.
Loads of it's good.
But it would never... It would teeter off. It would probably, if they were going that speed, because there is no incline, it would go off and the other side of the freeway would smash right through the windscreen and cut everyone in half.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
I've got a theory. Keanu Reeves doesn't have a driving license.
Oh, that's good. But I know, but he drives his truck. He drives after them in his 4x4. Just after his bus driver pal's killed.
I thought like Jeff Daniels did the ramping and then thing. Okay, that's okay.
He definitely drives after the bus.
Shit. Well, that's that one out the fucking jacks.
I had a theory that Alan Ruck is the same as Cameron from Ferris Bueller. He turns into him at one point.
You reckon?
He turns into him when he goes, I can't dial at this. I can't dial at this. He's basically Cameron from Ferris Bueller. He's exactly the same character.
That's, you know what? I'm not against it.
I don't know why they do it, but
there's absolutely no reason whatsoever.
The other bit that doesn't make any sense whatsoever is when. So, Dennis Hopper's plan about the lift is foiled. Then he's sitting watching telly. Why they would broadcast this anyway? Why are they broadcasting local cops getting medals for shit?
Oh, right? That's right. Yeah.
Because the bus driver goes, saw you in the telly getting a medal. What channel? What fucking channel showing this? Right. So,
Live on 5.
He says, saw you getting the medal of the telly. And then, so Dennis Hopper's like that. That fucking lift thing took me 2 years to set up. But in the past week, I have managed to set up an entirely more difficult and convoluted plan. You can't tell me that lift was more difficult than finding out that Keanu Reeves had a pal who's a bus driver.
Yeah.
Blowing up his bus, finding another bus, rigging that up, rigging the camera up, digging a fucking hole underneath a rubbish bin into the subway. Fuck off. He's done that. And in what?
He's an old lad.
In a week.
He's done pension.
That. In a fucking week. At best, he's done that in a week. Because you know it's a week because Jeff Daniels is still fucking limping for getting shot in the leg.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Nah.
Do you know there is another one too that's quite unrealistic? The fact that they just wrote him off as dead.
Yeah.
It was like a one strap bomb in a car park. They were like, he's dead, yeah. Like, have you found a single bit of nah, he must have completely incinerated in the bomb. You're like, there would still be bits of you.
There surely would be a clean-up team.
Yeah. So what the fuck?
I'm not saying those two would go out sifting through the rubble, but
unless he's got like in his backpack, he had like a little bit of a cow, like a big hunk of meat, and just went.
Guys, tell you how new he's evil. He had horns.
Yeah. He must be a fat bastard. He's got 4 stomachs.
This guy's tits. What the fuck?
Yeah. Let me see what else. Did I have any other little notes written down? I'll see if there's any messages from the fucking
about this film. Yeah.
First of all. I have one thing here. There's 2 things that are very funny. Number one, funny one. Why did he take the car off the door off the guy's car?
What? I'd rather than just opening the door and driving beside. But can you get close enough to jump?
I mean, it's a convertible. He was going to jump. It's actually easier if you stand on the door and jump because you get more of a fucking purchase and thing. Why would you just rip the guy's door?
One of the guys so raging.
No, I'd be like, why? What was the point in that?
It's a totally unnecessary move.
Yeah, totally unnecessary. I'll talk about the director. I don't know what else this director's done.
Yann de Mont.
Is he French?
Yes.
You know how you know he's French?
I think so.
Fucking upskirted a woman in the first 4 minutes. There was a woman came out of the elevator arse first, and they just went right up in there.
He did Speed 2 and he did Twister.
Oh.
He's also, the reason he got this, because they offered it to John McTiernan first, but he went, I can't do another film that's exactly like Die Hard. Okay. And he said, but this guy did all the cinematography for Die Hard.
Oh, right.
So get him in.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that does make a lot of sense. I mean, that also made sense. I think personally with the upskirting, I find that very funny. Most unnecessary fucking.
I mean, all upskirting's unnecessary.
Yeah, no,
that especially.
Especially that. I always find that fucking mental when there's like, what is it? You're not allowed cameras that, because like there's people trying to upskirt people on red carpets.
Oh, right.
You know, like there's people like literally have cane things to like people trying to like fucking. You're not allowed like you know, the selfie sticks and shit because people keep trying it. And I'm like, that's fucking terrible. Grim. Okay, we got some from the Patreon for the speed questions.
Can I just do the rest of the points? Right, I'll just have a few more points. Right,
I didn't know we had more.
Very, very quickly. There's a lot of this that's like Mission Impossible, but I thought this was after Mission Impossible. This was made before Mission Impossible.
The drop down's
the same. Him crawling along the train is exactly like the end of Mission Impossible.
Fucking hell, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
it looks exactly the same as Tom Cruise.
And then the thing's going over. Oh my God.
Good decapitation scene as well.
It was.
And a good one-liner afterwards. Yeah, but I'm taller.
yeah. He lost his head.
Yeah, I didn't need the second one.
Didn't need the second one.
Too much. I didn't need the topper.
That's what Sandra Bullock. Fuck off! I heard you in the first time.
Yeah,
I heard you through the
roof. One thing that doesn't make sense. After Sandra Bullock has been a genuine hero and has largely saved all of these people, as much as Keanu Reeves has, right? I'd class her as much of a hero. Why, when she is getting patched up, which is also a very cool scene, the fact that the subway train coming out of the ground.
That was great.
And driving past that cinema that's famous in LA. That was very cool. So she's all battered up to fuck, right? Cuts in her head, cuts in her legs, all sorts of shit. Stick her in the ambulance. Just before we take you to the hospital, what we're going to do is you're going to accompany us to arrest this mad bastard as well. You sit tight. We'll only be 5 minutes. Why?
Yeah.
She would have been in her own ambulance, off to fuck. Like,
yeah. We'll deal with your road rash in a second here. Fucking hell.
Another one. Why are construction workers in LA so lazy?
They're always...
The freeway isn't finished. Neither's the subway. None of it finished.
They're always like eating a sandwich and then ducking out of the way of some disaster.
What's going on? Exactly. None of them do fucking shit. And then they lie about it. They put it on the map.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you know some fucking...
They must have fallen behind.
Some lazy layabout is gone, just fucking put it in the map, honestly. We'll fix it later.
That's so fucking funny.
And then the last thing I have is is it the last thing? Yeah. I distinctly remember trying to copy Keanu Reeves' look in this. So I would be 13 when this was released.
Yeah.
And I got my head
shaved in
short like that and cut about with an overshirt and a white t-shirt on.
My God.
I remember it. I was so impressionable and so lacking in any kind of self-esteem when I was young, right?
When you were young? Did you watch Oasis earlier?
I cosplay as everyone. I remember getting that done. I also remember when there's an episode of Friends where Chandler and Joey come out with new haircuts and everyone's going, and I remember specifically getting the Chandler haircut where it was all like spiky and choppy and everywhere.
Yeah.
And
that's so
because this was in sixth year. So by sixth year, I don't know what it was like at your school. By sixth year, all the previously popular but thick as fucking mince lads and girls had all left.
Okay.
Right? Because they knew their entire future was working in boots and Dumfries. So suddenly we went up a class. Right?
Okay,
so suddenly we were from being not quite the lower fucking dweebs,
echelons,
but in the mid, we were mid-carders. We were suddenly starting to get to, we were almost like, oh, now you can headline WrestleMania. You know, we were like that kind of,
you're involved in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So I remember after I got the Chandler haircut, somebody, I think like fucking NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or somebody suggested getting like blonde tips in my hair. It was a very 90s thing, right? And I remember there was these wee sticks. They were almost like what women use for mascara, but it was like blonde, right? And you could do wee blonde flicks into your hair. And I remember sitting in our common room at high school with three of the best looking girls in the year by that point. Like, again, they were mid-carders beforehand. The stunners all left because they were fucking stupid. But they then went up a level, you know. They then became contenders, right? And I remember sitting there with 3 of them doing my hair in the common room. I have never felt more like a gangster in my life. It is the coolest. I was like, yes, this must be how Warren Beatty felt in the 70s.
The hair done in the common room. Fuck's sake. You say common room, by what the fuck's a common room?
Common room was the room that you got in 6th year, where in between, because in 6th year was largely, it was the best year I ever had at school, because
It's a transition year, so basically you're just sitting like the detention room, really, but do nothing.
yeah, because you'd already got the hires you needed to go to uni, and you'd probably got an offer for uni. But sometimes you needed maybe an extra one, so you'd do another subject, and then you could do a 6th year study, which looked better as well. So I think I did 6 year study in English and like an extra hire in like fucking biology or some shit. But because you did a lot less classes that year, you had a lot more downtime. So some people used to go home, but if you weren't able to get home, it was too far away. You had a common room, which I mean, an American common room would have like a fucking pool table and a pinball machine and all that kind of shit in it. We had fuck all. There was a radio, and you just used to sit about and fucking
Great.
basically most of the time sitting there with a hard on, because you couldn't control how sexually charged you were. So.
I did. When you say impressionable, I did dye my hair like Freddie Youngberg's when I was
The red, did you?
when I was young.
Amazing.
Right now, I'm doing Aaron Moy.
Right now I'm doing Jade Goody.
Megamind. Oh fuck.
That's all. That's all I have to say. Oh, the only other thing I had to say was, do you know what? I'll save this for the Patreon. Actually, I was going to ask you your best bus story. Shit that's happened on a bus, because I've got a good one.
Okay, right. I'll think of it. Yeah, we'll do that in the Patreon.
The last thing I had. Did you ever see Keanu Reeves' band Dog Star?
No. Good.
I saw him at Tina Park. He was the bassist. Absolute fucking shite.
Were they?
Abysmal.
I always think that, like, well, when Idris Elba does DJ, and I'm like, bet you it's dog shit.
Yeah, of course it will be. After the novelty of seeing Idris Elba on the stage, you'd go, this is actually, I wish Tiesto was still alive.
Yeah.
Was it Tiesto that died?
No, Avicii.
Avicii. Sorry, Tiesto.
Avicii. Nice guy.
He's not got a documentary about him on
He does now.
Netflix.
I've seen it.
I've not seen it yet.
It came up on the old dodgy box there. It was like Avicii, the thing. He was like... Honestly, I think I said it in the podcast, one of the soundest people I've ever interviewed in my life.
Avicii?
Yeah. He's genuinely, out of everyone, he was the fuck. And if you want to know the worst, fucking Graham Linehan and fucking Canadian one-liner, Stuart Francis.
Really?
Thought he was a fucking wank when he was a kid. I don't know, he's like now.
Just not engaging at all?
Just a prick.
Wow.
The two favourite were Benny Benassi and Avicii. The DJs were...
What was wrong with Linehan? Because he seems a sound guy.
It makes sense now. Like, do you know, like, I think he was just a fucking tit. Chris O'Dowd was really good. I had to get Chris O'Dowd, because Chris O'Dowd went to our university, and he was just like, can't believe he just rinsed our paper for the entire thing. Like, the newspaper I was doing, it was like, it was fucking dog shit, man. Some of the stupid shit I see in this. And I was like, I'm printing all this.
Have I told the story about meeting Bass Hunter on this?
Bass Hunter.
Podcast?
Yes.
I have.
You have.
And I called him a wank. I called him a cunt. Bass Hunter, you fucking cunt. It was on my stag do. And then we ended up having a pint with him later on.
Bass Hunter of all fucking.
Just sitting with him, he was proper sound. And me and my pal, it was just me and my pal like on the strip of Magaluf about 5:30 in the morning. I just put my hand in the air and went, listen, really sorry about calling you a cunt earlier on. He went, happens all the time.
Amazing. Right, we'll get through some of these Patreon questions before we get on to the actual Patreon or upcoming ones. For Speed, Stephen Riley, how would you boys disembark the passengers without Dennis Hopper knowing? I would camouflage them all.
Camouflage?
That wouldn't make sense, because they would all still be on the bus.
There must be.
I would get them all, if you had a couple of seconds, if you had a minute, I would get an identical bus and jump them on that, and then put the feed on, and then
an identical bus featuring identical dummies. right?
Yeah.
And then a quick change. So you're coming up to a split in the road. The dummy bus is coming this way.
Yeah.
The actual bus, and then they just go.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to do it.
That's the only plausible way that I can think of.
I feel like, is there not a back door in it? Is there not a way you could just really kind of just...
But then he's got the camera, so he'd suddenly see the whole thing was empty.
Yeah, I suppose.
You could start a mass brawl. Like if one of them turned round and went, "You're a prick." Like if Gigantor went to Cameron, "You're a prick," and then Cameron
guy pulls out
attacked
the gun
him.
again. Please stop pulling out that gun.
Where did you get another gun?
You've been exonerated.
When he got it, you got.
I just forgot of another crime I've done. All right. Yeah, okay. My thoughts. The looped video was a good idea, but passing them between buses at 55 miles an hour wasn't. They should have gone with one of those tank lifting helicopters and lifted it off the ground a wee bit so the wheels are running, but the bus is hovering and everyone can jump down 6 foot and then leg it rather than the weird plank thing they did. But they would just blow the bus still, and then they would take out the helicopter.
Here's a question, right? See if a bomb's strapped to something. If you kicked it, when does it explode?
If you kicked it.
So say there's a bomb on that table in front of us.
Yeah.
Right?
I've only made a couple.
Right? Now, obviously, you can't pick it up because it's attached. So you need a swift move. If there was a grenade, right? So say a grenade-sized bomb is strapped to that table and wired to the table. If I got up on that table, hit it with a driver, where does it explode?
I don't know.
Can I hit it far enough before the ignition kicks in?
Well, it depends. Would it be like it depend on the bomb? Like, so if it's C4, wouldn't that not kind of like gunpowder? Like a smack could spark and immediately explode.
I see that. Well, that's a good point.
I don't know if that's even remotely scientific at all.
I'm just wondering if you were under the bus, if you could boot it off.
Yeah.
And then it would still blow up near the bus.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be as catastrophic. It might just blow out a side of it.
Yeah.
Get everyone else on the other side again.
Yeah.
Kick out that side. It blows off one side of the
hope
bus.
you survive. Yeah. I mean, it's your best option, probably. Bar all the shit they actually did. Right. Do you prefer Raging Turtle 28? Do you prefer 2000 Keanu Reeves movies or post 2000 Keanu Reeves movies? I'd say pre. Yeah. I mean, I like John Wick. I'll never say a bad word about it, but I'm also like, there are better ones.
I do love John Wick, but I also love this, and I really love Point Break. I think Point Break's a phenomenal film.
That's not a. I don't remember too much of it.
When we do that, I'll be excited. That's a very good film.
I prefer The Matrix personally than most John Wick films. So
I prefer The Matrix to John Wick.
Yeah. So. Obviously not Matrix Revelations and shit like that.
First Matrix, yeah.
But happy. But it's a good question. Somebody goes Point Break. There's Scott Kirkwood. Sid just said John Wick. Next question. Scott Kirkwood says Point Break. Basically, although, whatever. No hesitation. Blah, blah, blah. The Matrix is being pre-2000 is cancelled out by the sequels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver Hand, if that counts. I don't know what that is. Bill and Ted, blah, blah, blah. Constantine. Do we have any more questions? No, they're chatting about his accents and stuff like that. Right.
Next week, what are we doing?
Well, I've decided to completely we started the season here on a good front, and I decided to really take that down a notch.
We've gone, do you know what I was thinking today in the drive over? We've had, I think, throughout Christmas and with this, we've enjoyed every film.
Oh, good. Well, things are about to change. This week we are doing John Tucker Must Die.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've never seen this.
Brilliant. Mean Girls has met its match.
Who's in it?
By Sugar. That would be that guy that got famous from one scene in Desperate Housewives. Isn't he the gardener in Desperate Housewives?
Oh, my God.
Is that Alicia Cooper? To be brutally honest, Desperate Housewives' favourite gardener, Jesse Metcalf, stars in this.
Desperate Housewives' favourite gardener?
He's the gardener in Desperate Housewives, like 16, isn't he? She sexually assaults him. She's like banging him. What
a terrible title to have. Desperate Housewives' favourite gardener.
Here's what it is. Don't get mad, get even. If hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, just think of the damage 3 teenage girls could do if you pushed to breaking point.
Oh, God.
Desperate Housewives Phoebe Gardner, Jesse Metcalfe stars in this hilarious laugh out loud comedy when 3 girls from competing cliques discover that they have all been dating the same guy. The school's smooth talking and gorgeous basketball team captain, John Tucker. The fuming trio to conspire to teach Tucker a lesson that he'll never forget.
Oh,
Enlisting the help of the new girl in town, another girl added in, to exact their revenge. One hell of a showdown.
who are the girls?
To be brutally honest, I kind of half know their faces, but I don't also really know at all.
Oh my God! Oh fucking way!
Do you know how bad this film's going to be? It's 12s.
It's
not,
what?
It's 12s. It's not even like 18s, so it's going to be proper.
Oh my God! I've never. Brittany Snow, Ashanti, Sophia Bush, and Ariel Cable, and Janie McCarthy's in it. Oh, good God!
Can't wait.
This is going to be horrendous.
I hope that's up there with the worst.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, John Tucker.
Look forward to that.
Speed to
In
John Tucker.
Manchester this weekend.
At least it's quick.
Yeah. Right, before we go, you've got your tour.
Yes, I have
now.
a tour details up on the old
Yeah,
socials.
same
Yeah.
for me. I just do that. Keep telling
Yeah,
your
yeah,
pals.
buy tickets and all that crowd.
So, yeah.
I've made a woeful decision.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.